Welcome, everybody, to Freelance Writing Direct. I'm your host, Estelle Erasmus, the author of Writing That Gets Noticed, Find Your Voice, Become a Better Storyteller, Get Published, which was named by Poets and Writers a best book for writers. Every week, I speak with novelists, with authors, with writers of every niche to talk about their tips, their tricks, their strategies, and how the sauce is made, including creative advice. I'll talk about essays and articles and share my own experience from 3 decades of publishing. So join me every week and grow your business and build your craft with Freelance Writing Direct. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. And follow along on Substack, where I share special clips for subscribers only at estelleserasmus.substack.com. Hi, I'm Estelle Erasmus, writer, NYU professor, and host of Freelance Writing Direct. I'm so excited to share that I recently gave a TEDx talk called How to Get Noticed in Your Writing and Beyond, where I share the hard-won lessons I've taught at NYU and learned as editor-in-chief of multiple national magazines about how to make your message stand out no matter the medium. But I also get personal in my talk. I open with a funny story from my past involving Thomas the Tank Engine, one that proves it's not about saying more, but about saying what matters. And I reveal a vulnerable chapter of my life that taught me just how powerful it is to be truly heard. You can watch it on YouTube. There's a link in the show notes. And you can also look up Estelle Erasmus on YouTube. If it resonates, I'd love for you to leave a comment on the TED site. It means so much to me to hear the messages that stick with you from my talk. Thank you. Hi, it's Estelle Erasmus, and this is a little solo short episode with my Estelle's Edge. So I wanted to talk to you about something that has been big time in the news lately, and that is AI generated content and what that means. And I touched on it a little bit when I talked about my 2025 forecast, but recently all across my Facebook feed, it was one of these like top books of summer that came out in the Chicago Sun-Times. And it was sort of like a listicle, but it actually included titles that actually don't exist in real time. And these are by authors like Migrations by Maggie O'Farrell, doesn't exist. Boiling Point by Rebecca McKay, doesn't exist. And the list was compiled by somebody named Marco Buscaglia, and it was generated by AI. And he basically, told 404 Media that he had screwed up, he made a mistake. This is like a big deal. And the fact that his name is connected to it, like, I don't know what's going to be happening, but he probably should be losing his job, because even if you're using AI for anything, and again, for editorial, you shouldn't be using it in this capacity, you need to vet what they are giving you, because AI is known to make mistakes. And by the way, companies are contracting with AI organizations or companies to actually do the work for them. Let me say that again. And I'm talking about companies like the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal. Every big media company is making deals with AI. What does that mean? We don't know what they're using it exactly for, but I have an idea. It's being used for listicles. Now, a very prominent thing is to say the books of summer. That's kind of a big listicle that you wouldn't really want to entrust to AI. But the type of listicles that they used to give to freelance writers or staff is being given to AI. I mean, this is happening across the board. This is not an anomaly. The anomaly is that it got caught and that it got widespread media attention. What does this mean for you as a freelance writer? It means that if you did listicles, you're less likely to get a gig or to get any kind of job involving a listicle unless you're actually on staff at a publication. Publications are also cutting their staff because AI is going to be able to do some of that work. Now, the other thing is, and this is a big one, this is a really big one. The people who have been doing content marketing are going to be losing their jobs to AI. And let me explain if you don't know what content marketing is. That's when a hospital or an organization or an association contracts a writer to do writing, almost like an advertorial. The writer does not get a byline. Their name is not on it, but the idea is that they're going to use their journalistic abilities to put something together. And I did do content marketing briefly a couple of years ago. And one of the places, I believe it was something through the Washington Post, because they have different arms that handle content marketing. And that was given to me through another organization that had hired me to do it. Again, they've been hiring freelance writers because they know they can write. But now this is where AI is coming in because they can save money with all the money that they're paying the freelance writers. They can have AI do it. There's no byline. So the writer can't even go back and say, I don't have a byline, so I need to be doing this kind of work. And as long as they have somebody who is vetting the work that AI is doing, and maybe a few people on staff, maybe somebody's doing an interview and feeding that into AI, I see that as a possibility. But what's happening is, because of that, if you're in content marketing, you're about to lose clients. They're going to dump you. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be as realistic as I can. I've been through all the iterations in this industry. I was there when print was king in the 90s. I was there when the online proliferation started and the VC funding. And online writers, by the way, in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, were making just as much as the print writers were. So I was getting $1.50, $2 a word back then for online. That all changed. We know that all changed. And then print dying out, except for niche publications. They're still sticking strong because they have a very firm reader base. However, there's so much changing in the field. So content marketing is something that if you're in it, I'm going to say get out of it, or you're going to be forced to get out of it, and go for ghost writing. Go for ghost writing books. And here's why. When it's ghostwriting books, particularly for big names or for people who already have a platform, you're going to be able to do something like called use voice. You're going to have to either imitate the voice of the person, or if they don't really have a strong voice and just academic or some sort of expertise, you can even create a voice for them. And so that's what ghostwriting is going to be good. Ghostwriting is also paying very highly at this point. So I would say the associations, the organizations that have focused on content marketing as a part of getting memberships, that's not going to be working for you, because content marketing is going to be going into the pocket and the hands of AI. And I'm sorry, I try to keep it real for the people who are my listeners and followers and who know that I have 3 decades of experience behind what I'm telling you. And so when I'm forecasting something, I'm using the information around me and the knowledge base that I see around me as well. And there are people who forecast and give information from different perspectives. Kathleen Schmidt, who's been on the program, does a wonderful job with her information in her Substack, Publishing Confidential, from a PR point of view. I do it from an editorial point of view. And from what I'm seeing is content marketing is not going to be a place where you're going to be able to make your bread and butter. Start looking into ghostwriting, start looking into writing white papers for corporations and build those kinds of relationships. Because right now, the higher level the situation is, the less I see AI being involved. Remember, AI is a growing industry, right? It is early days. Right now, AI, I would say last year it was in nursery school. This year it's in third grade. Okay, so it is growing up while we watch. So there's a lot more that's going to be happening in this. There need to be controls, there need to be protections. And obviously this guy who didn't even vet, he thought, oh, it's a listicle, they're going to pull the right information and it'll be fine. And my imprimatur is on it. Well, sorry, that's wrong. And that's not going to work for you. So whatever you do, use journalistic standards. You have to check something out. You have to verify, verify, verify. Back in the day, there were fact checkers doing all that for you, okay? That is no longer happening. That doesn't happen so much with print anymore. It doesn't happen so much with online. Hardly happens at all with online. So you have to be doing the vetting for yourself, particularly in the age of AI, and AI is not going away. The other thing is, and I'll do a separate episode about this, but you can't tell people one thing and then companies are contracting with businesses. So you have to kind of work in the world that you're living in. And so that's my advice to you. That's my Estelle's edge. Make sure to vet anything. And if you're on the other side and somebody's doing work for you, it needs to be vetted as well. Okay, more episodes soon. I'm going to do more of these shorts. I'm going to call them Summer Shorts with Estelle. And I also have some coaching episodes coming up. So take care. And I always want the best for you. Thanks. Bye-bye. Follow me at EstelleSErasmus.com on my website and on social media, which is Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, at Estelle S. Erasmus. And we're now on YouTube for Freelance Writing Direct. Follow along, and soon everyone will be reading what you're writing.